hearts race.
And the crowd goes wild.
All across the nation, the Dirt Track Warriors duke it out for what matters the most.
The trophy
And the glory. This is Gas and Glory, presented by R&R Enterprises.
Coming to you direct from the studios here at R&R Enterprises, and no, you don't need to ask, our tires are fully inflated. This is Gas and Glory. Kyle Luders and Neil Quick, we are presented by R&R Enterprises, and yeah, Neil, I can't speak to any type of balls, pigskin, or anything like that, but we have fully inflated tires on this show.
Well, thank God somebody let the balls air out of the balls there at the football game, so you got something new to intro us into the show here today.
Oh, you see, that was a little bit creative. I took some current events, and I made it relevant, and I made a nice intro, and you're still not happy.
No, I'm not saying I'm not happy. I mean, it just gave us a new intro, and thank God. I mean, somebody let the ball air out of, balls in air. I mean,
You can't even talk right now, can you?
can't spit it out. I'm so excited the way you gave us a new intro.
Yeah. We are presented by R&R Enterprises, like what we mentioned, and you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and iTunes. I got them all, right? At Gas and Glory? Yeah, that's us. That's us, Kyle and Neil right here. We're going to dive on in. We've got a great show today, a saucy show.
Saucy?
Saucy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a good spaghetti sauce. It's awesome. It's amazing.
Okay.
You hungry yet?
No.
What'd you have for lunch?
Food?
What kind of food?
The good old classic steak burger at Steak and Shake. It was great.
Wait a minute. You took the boss to Steak and Shake, or did the boss take you to Steak and Shake?
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a let's go to Steak and Shake kind of thing.
Well, I was going to say, because we've talked about this on the show before, if the boss takes you to Steak and Shake,
Yeah, usually in trouble.
you got to be worried, yeah. So I was just wondering. I wanted to make sure you're all right over there.
Oh, I'm perfectly good. I'm still here.
He's still ticking, everybody, and we're going to give him a shot of Hard Rock Energy coming up in just a little bit. But we move on to the recap portion of the show. Neil, the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic was this past weekend. Kyle Hurst and the Monty Motorsport team pocketed the $30,000 for winning the Lucas Oil sponsored race at Premier Speedway down in Warrnambool. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Warrnambool.
Warrnambool.
Great.
Warrnambool.
That's a great track, great event. Kind of the Knoxville Nationals for Australia over there for the sprint car drivers.
Check this, buddy. Hurst led all 40 laps and started on the front row. Dominant.
Yeah, he looked solid even in the qualifying night. I think he ran third on that night and definitely looked solid. And that Monty team is Luch Monty and them guys over there have a great deal going and great team. I mean, good opportunity for Kyle to get you over there and run this, I guess, their season over there in Australia.
And a Team R&R team.
Yeah.
Not just a driver, but an entire team. And folks, you got to check them out on Facebook, Monty Motorsport. They have got quite possibly the coolest hauler ever.
They got the coolest of all the stuff over there.
Anywhere. They've got the coolest hauler anywhere. Can we agree on that?
Absolutely.
Please? Okay.
No, that Milwaukee team that they've got, Milwaukee-sponsored sprint car team over there, a great group of folks, and we're happy to do their merchandise and a lot of big thanks.
Spit it
if I
out.
could spit it out today, folks. No, a big thanks to Michelle Jordison from Oval Express magazine. She helps us a lot get their merchandise and their program put together there each year, and it turned out well, and they got great looking merchandise over there this year.
Speaking of the Jordisons, a tip of the cap to those folks, because I got to tell you, Oval Express, if you guys do not get that and you are a sprint car fan, you are missing out each and every year. Probably my favorite edition is the one they do previewing the Knoxville Nationals. I know this year when we were gathering our notes, what Phil and Michelle put together, notes-wise, just the spreadsheets inside the magazine was extremely beneficial.
They are great in the statistics and the information and the photographs that they put together. And magazine's great. If you guys do not subscribe, be sure to go to the website, www.ovalexpress.com, and check out their magazine and get a subscription, because it's really a very stellar magazine, great printed pictures. Of course, I'm great with the pictures, Kyle with the statistics, but great. If you're a sprint car and open wheel fan, I know over there they have the Formula 500s, which is equivalent to the mini sprints over here, and then, of course, speed cars, which are midgets, but both back and forth. Great magazine, and they cover a lot of stuff over here. So if you're a sprint car fan, be sure to check them out.
Very, very, very much so. Oval Express, our friends over there taking care of things across the pond, as they say. Trucking right along, Neil. This was exciting to watch. I know I was following feverishly on Twitter while it was happening. Rico Abreu made his debut in a stock car, started 23rd of 25, and he finished 13th. Unfortunately, had to pull behind the wall on lap 87 of 100 in the Pete Orr 100 at New Smyrna Speedway down in Florida. Mechanical issue, not so good, but he was looking good until he had to pull behind the wall with 13 to go.
Well, it's good to see the 2015 Chili Bowl champion getting a shot to race with some fenders on and getting to put some laps under his belt down there. But no, I think there's still big things to come for Rico, and this is the first step.
You know, he released his tentative 2015 schedule. And oh, by the way, folks, Rico is our guest on this week's show. We caught up with him last week, caught him right as he was driving down to Florida. We're going to play that here in just a little bit. But he released his tentative schedule for this year. He's obviously got the NASCAR stuff, K&N stuff, but a ton, and I mean a ton of World of Outlaws stuff, Civil War Series, King of the West, you name it, he's doing it. It's an ambitious schedule, and Rico Abreu is going here, there, everywhere, and oh, why, yonder.
Really?
Yeah. Hitting some NSL races, some MOA races, Outlaw races, Civil War Series, K&N. You know what? He might even join us for like a street stock race on iRacing. You never know.
Really?
Yeah, we could do that.
Get that penciled in.
We could. Oh, awesome. Remember what happened the last time we tried to organize a race? I dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, I think that was a community effort, actually. But, no, it's. I'm telling you, I think 2015, and we were just talking about it a little bit earlier, the season is here, and we're really excited about it. I know Florida Speed Week's kicking off, and we're just waiting for it to warm up a little bit and getting the string of being out there at the racetrack and seeing everybody.
Speaking of seeing everybody and things warming up, we are now going to go into that interview with Rico Abreu. Rico, over 25 wins combined last year, a USAC Honda National Midget Championship last year. Very successful 2015 and beyond, looking very bright. Here is our interview with Rico Abreu. And we've got him on the horn here today, the man that's been making all the news here lately in motorsports, Rico Abreu. Rico, welcome back to Gas and Glory. Congratulations, a Chili Bowl winner, and now a new developmental deal to drive in the K&N Series for NASCAR.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been an incredible week for me. Definitely a great way to start the year off. But just very fortunate for all the opportunities I've been given.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, VH1 used to have a show called Best Week Ever. You've had Best Year Ever so far, but yeah, definitely Best Week. Let's start with the Chili Bowl. That is the ultimate midget race to win. Everybody wants to. There's over 320 cars there this year. Walk us through that 55-lap A main, because once you got out in front, you were up there, you were running hard, but it was very exciting behind you.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a good race. I knew I had a great car from winning my preliminary night. I just made sure I was patient, and the cushion got really treacherous at the end of the race, so you just had to be pretty careful on it. A lot of guys were tossing their nose, or a few crashed. I seen a Swindell get into second. I didn't know if it was Sammy or Kevin, but I knew they were going to be coming, so I just made sure I hit all my marks, and I made every lap count.
Yeah, you most certainly did. Chatting with Rico Abreu here on Gas and Glory, winner of the 2015 Chili Bowl. And Rico, how big was it for you to win that race? You won the Honda USAC National Midget Championship last year. That was great. Congratulations again. But how big was that Chili Bowl win for you in the Keith Coons outfit?
Oh, it's huge. Keith hasn't won it in 13 years, so it was a dry run there for a while. But Keith's gotten his cars really good, and it's definitely the biggest race I've ever won in my career. I still rank Belleville Midget Nationals at the top, but Chili Bowl's right there with it. It's been an unbelievable way to start the year for me, and Chili Bowl is just such a prestige race that everyone wants to win, and only a few people have won it. So it's cool that my name's up there on that list, and it'll be up there for a very long time.
Yeah, it certainly will, and we hope that you get the chance to go back and defend your Chili Bowl Nationals title next year. You were very exciting to watch. Each and every year you've been at the Chili Bowl. But I want to talk about Keith Coons for just a little bit. He has been a guest on this show before, and he sheepishly grinned a little bit when I called him the godfather of midget racing right now. But can you describe what makes him and Pete, his partner, what makes those cars so strong? Because it seems like it's a who's list of who gets into Keith Coons midget, and they're very successful. You, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Tanner Thorson, just to name a few.
Yeah, no, those are two men that are very dedicated to what they do. They're both very focused. They've been together for 18 years, so they've obviously worked really well together. They don't make too many mistakes in every decision they make. They have a good notebook and baseline that they go off of. They do everything in-house. One of the biggest keys is he builds his own cars, and he builds his own front axles. So he does a lot himself. And then when we get to the racetrack, he just lets us go race, have fun, and he's had some tremendous drivers go through his camp. And I think, the biggest thing is he's got a lot of heart for what he does, and he works really well with everybody. Keith and Pete are so fun to work with, and let alone race with.
Very much so. Chatting with Rico Abreu here on Gas and Glory. You can follow him on Twitter at Rico Abreu. Quite a few followers over there now, and it's only going to blow up even more now, bud, as you are joining the pavement ranks here for K&N schedule this year. Talk a little bit about how that deal came together, and it's huge. It's a little bittersweet because we love watching you on the dirt. You're one of our guys on the dirt, but we are very excited to see you get the opportunity. So kind of tell folks how that kind of came about for you.
Yeah, definitely still planning on running a lot of dirt races with the sprint car and the door was open there, and I felt like it was the right decision to make to go to H. Scott Motorsports with Justin Marks and run a whole K&N East Pro Series. They got great equipment. I've never been in a car before besides last Tuesday. So this is all going to be new to me, and it's all going to be a learning process, but I feel like we're going to be just fine, man. And I'm really excited to work with this whole team at H. Scott Motorsports with Justin Marks.
Yeah, and going into this K&N car, Rico, what do you anticipate is the biggest challenge that you're going to face adapting from a lighter, higher horsepower machine on dirt to something that's a little bit heavier on pavement?
Yeah, just having a lot of patience. You gotta wait to be fast at the end of these races, since they're a little longer than a sprint car race. So you can't go, balls out the first 10 laps, first 20 laps or 30 laps. Just be there at the end of them and knowing where the race car is and where the line is, preferred line is on the track. And then knowing how to race guys and then, knowing where your right side is. There's a few things that you're gonna have to learn about that you don't know in sprint car racing, or that you don't. That doesn't happen to you in sprint car racing. So it'll all be new to me. But the way I look at it, it's just another race car, and you just got to go out and race it and have fun and pick up new things as you go and listen and understand what's going on. And the good thing is I have a great group of guys that are around me, and I'm really looking forward to racing with them, that they all know what they're doing.
Hey, that's always something good to have in racing. Guys that know what they're doing. You obviously had that figured out on the midget side of things, and then now over at H. Scott, that's good to hear, Rico. Something I wanted to touch on anyways. There was you've really been getting more active and more involved in the community everywhere you go. And recently down in Tulsa, you got the chance, I believe, to visit a school and talk to some of the kids. And can you kind of describe kind of coming out of maybe the personal shell, I think like we all do as we grow up and we get older, and becoming more of more of a public figure, more comfortable with public speaking, and what you hope to do, encouraging young people to chase their dreams like you have.
Yeah, I just didn't go into. I went to a few schools just to talk to them about, being different and accepting it, and just how I grew up and how I overcame everything, and just to influence people on what I do, and I'll race there every weekend, and just that when you get in the car, everybody's the same height and same, no one's different. So everybody's different, but no one, everybody's the same once you get in a race car. So it's been a cool process of it all, and I'm really looking forward to keeping, being able to go to all these schools and talk to the young kids and just educate them on about me and about, life and overcoming things.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We saw the pictures and we were like, man, that's pretty awesome for him to take the time to go and do that. And it's one of the things that make you one of our favorites around here. We got a lot of favorites. You're definitely one of them anyways. Chatting with Rico Abreu here on Gas and Glory. You touched on it a little bit earlier, my friend. You are still going to get the chance to do some dirt racing this year. Can you give us an idea of what that schedule is going to look like?
Yeah, I'm planning on running, anywhere from 65 to 75 sprint car races.
Holy smokes.
10 to 15 midget races. So I'll be really busy. The K&N East schedule is going to be, my priority, and I'm going to be at every one of those races, and then run the sprint car when I'm not running the K&N race. So definitely, get to the big sprint car races. I believe I'll have to miss the Knoxville Nationals this year, but that's about the only big race that I won't be able to run. And then the midget races where I go to midget week in the 4 Crown, and there's a Pennsylvania swing that I can get to. So there's a few races that I'll be able to attend, and just looking forward to it all. I'm going to have a big year this year, and just looking to capitalize on it and just go win some races and have fun.
Definitely so. You certainly set a torrid pace last year. You won over 20 races. Seemed like every time we turned around, you were winning races. I was at Eldora there when you got the All-Star Circuit of Champions win there. That was exciting. Hopefully you're returning to the Big E. Bummed to hear you're going to miss Knoxville, but, we'll keep a can open for you anyways. But anyways, it was great chatting with you, Rico. You're a busy guy. We're going to let you get back at it, my friend. Thank you very much for taking the time to chat with us today on Gas and Glory.
Thank you.
And that was Rico Abreu. Caught him in the hauler on the way down to Florida. It was great to catch up with him. And Neil, I think listening to that interview, you can really sense his excitement as they were heading down there to try something that was relatively new to him.
Well, I think it is. It's exciting to see that Rico's getting some of those opportunities that we've seen his buddy Kyle kind of open up the door and do the same that basically Rico's trying to do right now. So speaking of Kyle, I think it was kind of neat talking about doors opening and doing different things and trying different things. I mean, we're sitting here and we're talking about racing and different things going on. Some guy named Larson kind of etched his name in the history books this weekend.
Kyle Larson, very successful driver. Him and the entire Chip Ganassi road racing team took the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Now, listen to this, Neil. Okay? The kid starts off the year. He wins down in Yuma in the Plan B car during Winter Heat Sprint Car Showdown. He goes to Tulsa, wins his prelim night, running real good on Saturday
Dramatic
night.
fashion down there.
Yup. And then you win the Rolex 24. Is he going to be hoisting the Harley J. Earl Trophy here in a couple of weeks at the 500? I mean, you could not start off this year much better.
No, I think that especially with all the racing he's got going for him, I think that as long as their program on their big track NASCAR program for Cup Series, I mean your Super Speedway program, as long as Ganassi's got it under the hood, which, I mean, when it goes Speedway and plate racing, I mean, everybody's got a chance at it. So, boy, that would be pretty epic to pull that off for him.
It certainly would, and you have to remember they do have Hendrick Power under the hood at Chip Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabates.
Yep.
So that, you got some strong ponies underneath the hood. So, and him and Jamie McMurray, no slouches on the big tracks. Jamie McMurray, the 2010 Daytona 500 champion, also won over at Talladega. And he's also, I believe, won the Pepsi 400 or the Coke Zero 400, whatever they call that July race at Daytona now. I still think of it as the Firecracker 400.
Well, I think we all do.
Hashtag that Throwback Thursday, put that online.
Well, speaking of McMurray, did you see by him winning the 24-hour race, he kind of put himself in the record books with A.J. Foyt and Mario Andretti there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, as one of the only guys to win the 500 and to win the 24-hour race. And you got to look at this too. Outside of Daytona, McMurray's won at the Brickyard in the Cup car, and Mario and AJ's won in the IndyCar there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, those three guys. I mean, those are big events to win, and McMurray's right up there with those two legends.
Not bad for a kid from Joplin, Missouri, just down the road from us on old Interstate 44. In fact, what are we, like 2 or 3 minutes from Interstate 44 here?
Yeah, I would say
something like that. Yeah.
I mean, in my books, I'm 15 minutes from everywhere. It's 15 minutes away.
I'm always 5 minutes late everywhere I go. That's my deal. New Year's resolution. Trying to get past that. Had to get to Columbia. It was a little late this weekend. Sorry, babe. Anyway, moving on to some topics that we do need to discuss this week. We cannot go into huge detail here, but rumors, Neil Wayne, are circulating over in the Ohio region that perhaps this chasm, this splinter of Ohio sprint car racing might be over before it began, as we're hearing that the All-Stars and the Renegades maybe possibly work out a deal to merge back up if the All-Stars have new ownership. Perhaps.
Well, and I mean, that's news to me. I mean, I haven't heard a lot about this, so basically what I've heard is just what you kind of brought to my attention, and I don't know. I don't know what this is really, what's going to come out of this, but it'll be interesting the next, basically, week to find out.
Yeah, I mean, the All-Stars are scheduled to begin down in Florida this first weekend in February here, and we've got that coming up, so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. But in your opinion, is that what is best for sprint car racing in Ohio, is to see these two entities that had split, so to speak, the majority of the drivers, going off with the Renegades, and then the All-Stars still being involved? Do you believe that?
I think in this case, where we're talking about the state of Ohio and sprint car racing, I think the state's only big enough to handle one regional series. I don't think there's a point of having two of them splitting car counts for the tracks and the promoters and the fans alike. I think it's going to probably dilute the product. So, I mean, honestly, I think anything merging together and becoming one series is going to be best for everybody in the end.
Well, one cannot downplay what the Renegades were able to achieve, the schedule that they put together with the drivers. Very impressive to Shane Helms and his entire group. My hat's off.
Yeah, I mean, he's put together a stout series with tracks and drivers that really pushed the All-Stars into the situation more or less they're in right now. Very
good, very good. We move on. Some more sanctioning body news. This one came out just a little bit earlier today. I saw this. The World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, back to the old red logo. And I'm going to just say this right now. We deal with logos all day long. That World of Outlaws logo, best logo ever.
Really?
Yeah. I was not a fan of the STP one.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, it's kind of neat to see it back. I mean, we've seen it back before and used it when it was different color. But I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, in my eyes, a logo's a logo. So
it just looks cool. I'm sorry. That's just kind of like the somewhat frustrated creative in me coming out. Noticed I said frustrated and somewhat. The Outlaws and the King of the West series are co-sanctioning the Outlaw events out at Tulare and Calistoga this spring. Neil, in your opinion, partnerships here, good idea? Kind of get more entities involved and kind of spreading it around a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's a good deal where they merge together and allow more drivers to compete, and I think it's good for both sanctioning bodies to be able to do that. Now, how it works in the end and the numbers, I don't know how that works out for both of the sanctioning
That
bodies.
is for people way smarter than Neil and I to figure out.
Absolutely, but as a product for the fans and the drivers and bringing more people together at the event, all for that.
Very, very, very much so. And then finally, Neil.
Yeah.
John Force back in a Chevy.
I know. I can't get used to seeing that or saying it. I mean, it's kind of a weird deal. Well,
I mean, first off, he's not wearing a Castrol hat anymore. It's still a white hat, but it says Peak.
right.
And then now he's in a Chevy.
Well, I think it's a great thing for Chevy Motorsports, John Force Racing. Really interesting to see how it's going to play out, and kind of weird seeing John Force in a Chevy.
It is weird. One thing that is not weird, how about our buddies over at Don Schumacher Racing rolling out those new Dodge Chargers? Those puppies are gorgeous.
Yeah, they are good-looking cars, and they've really got some exciting paint schemes and programs going on this year. And
Rocky Boot is back for a couple years.
Yep.
Mopar Express Lane back on the champ Matt Hagan's car. You've got Jimmy Prock coming over to turn the wrenches on Fast Jack Beckman's car. They got a lot going on.
They do. They've got some sharp-looking, funny cars, and the top fuelers, of course, you have the staples there of Antron Brown and the Matco top fueler, and the Sarge and the Army top fuel. So, again,
Spencer Massey with the batteries machine.
Yep.
Yeah, I call it the batteries machine. I keep thinking that one of these days they're just going to yank the big block off of the back, and they're just going to put electric motors on that one.
No.
Hey, they did that.
You can't go to a drag race with a...
Could you imagine that getting up to the start-finish line and you know how everybody...
You can't even hear it.
Everybody now is like...
You're going to...
NHRA opened up a new campaign this morning that says baptism by nitro.
Yeah, I seen that.
Okay, so what if you had an electric car that just went up there and was quiet like a Prius, and then just was gone?
Okay, no. You're missing the whole idea of
baptism by extreme electricity.
Yeah, I don't think so, Kyle.
121 gigawatts. What's that from?
Are you getting a lot of sleep at night, Kyle?
Why?
Because some of the ideas you're coming up with are pretty far-fetched.
I am all jacked up on Mountain Dew right now.
Okay.
You should.
Is that what's in that cup there?
Well, no, that's my tea.
Oh, so you're having tea after Mountain Dew?
Yeah, I'm having tea after Mountain Dew, so I'm in and out of the bathroom all day.
I don't know about you folks, but I just like hearing the engines and smelling the nitro and feeling the burn.
You should smell what's in that tea jug right now.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I got your nitromethane right there. All righty, folks. Moving right along. Getting here towards the end of our show. Not a ton of racing going on this weekend, so I wanted to take this week, Neil, and we're going to dial up one of our new segments here on the show, but I want some preseason picks. So, folks, at this time, it's time to roll on in to Dropping the Hammer.
I'm dropping the hammer. No, you're not.
This week, we are going to pick two candidates and drivers that we think are going to have phenomenal 2015 seasons and will be worthy of the Dropping the Hammer squealy at the end of 2015. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Well, my question before I start answering these questions.
Your question before you start answering these questions.
And I'm going to follow that by another question.
Oh, jeez.
And by the time we get done, we'll have a whole bunch of questions. But what series are we talking about? Any series of racing?
These are Team R&R drivers that you think are really going to knock it out of the park in 2015. Like, this is my safe pick. I'll do a safe pick, and then I'll do a dark horse. Rico Abreu is going to drop the hammer like nobody's business. I say he gets a K&N win this year. I
would have to agree with you on it. I think that most likely that we'll see that, and I'd like to see him compete for the championship first shot out of being a rookie.
Just like his buddy,
yeah,
Kyle Larson.
No, I think that I agree with you on the Rico deal. As it goes with our staple of sprint car racing, Donnie Schatz is going to drop the hammer again even more.
Ooh. See, I'm going to go against you on this one.
You are?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I think Paul McMahon and that number...
Well, that was going to not necessarily be my dark horse, but I'm going to include Paulie in this deal.
I think Paul McMahon in the number 51 CJB Motorsports car is going to... That group was just wicked fast out in Arizona. They're going to be wicked fast in Florida. I see Paul and that 51 car jumping out to a big lead at the beginning of the season and possibly following the strategy that Darren Pittman did a couple years back when he won the title, in that he jumped out to a huge lead at the beginning of the season and then maintains it throughout the year. I think the 51 car has a lot more speed this year. Not that it wasn't slow last year or the past 2 years, but I think they're going to find more speed. I like who they've added on their crew. They picked up some key guys from Steve Kinzer Racing and just in and around the pit area. They are building for the future. I like what they're doing. By the way, got a slick new looking race car. I'm a huge fan of it. Paul McMahon, one of my dropping the hammer picks for 2015.
Again, I'm agreeing with you on Paul McMahon. I got Donnie Schatz, I got Paul McMahon, and I'm really thinking Shane Stewart and that Larson Marks first full-time season out on the World of Outlaw Tour. I think that's going to be. I think you're going to see Shane Stewart really get to show why he's out there.
You know, Shane has not been full-time outlaw since the Rudine Racing days. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, it's been a while. Shane, I think, has only gotten better with age.
Yes.
You can make the case Shane Stewart's like a fine wine. And I know he's going to laugh when he hears that, but we're going to just go with it.
Well, I think that 360, 410, either way around, and I think once he gets out there, and I'm not saying necessarily he'll start off slow, but I'm saying that he will be competitive very quick out of the chute.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. I'm also going to go honorable mention on this one.
Okay.
Derek Hagar. He's going to roll on out with the ASCS National Tour to get the season started and everything like that. I think he's a pretty good shoe. I think he can make some noise. He used to run in the Destiny Motorsports machine, looked pretty good in that car. That car, oh, by the way, is out on the World of Outlaws circuit right now with Craig Delansky. So I'm going him with an honorable mention. We might be talking about him a lot more in 2015, and I think he might just have the success.
Well, I think that bringing up Derek is an interesting story a little bit, being down from the area that they are down there just south of us here. I think that, honestly, Derek, I've seen him in non-wing and wing cars both, and he's one of those guys that can really wheel a car.
Yeah.
I think that a little bit of the maturity that's come along with him, that he could compete for the ASCS National Championship straight out of the chute this year.
Booyah!
So, yeah, I agree with you on that part of it. Definitely interesting there. And on the USAC side, I mean, we got to give props out to our USAC Sprint Car champion, Brady Bacon. Again, he's going to be out there in the Hoffman machine wheeling that, and he'll be doing some wing racing too. And, again, good R&R customer that we do a lot of stuff for, and some more stuff going to be available through the website for Brady. But
oh, really?
Yes. But really excited to see what he can do and notching another possible USAC Sprint Car championship under his belt.
I wouldn't bet against Brady Bacon in the number 69 car, especially with no TSR cars out there on the USAC circuit this year. Brian Clausen, the number 20 team, Levi Jones before him, a very formidable force in USAC. They're not going to be around this year, so Brady Bacon, not saying it's going to be easy, not at all, but I am going to say that that number 69 car going to be stout as always.
Well, as we're just talking about,
wonder if we can borrow the truck.
Yeah, the truck. No, it's you got a lot of good competitive sprint car teams out there, and you got some that are going full time with the World of Outlaws. I know Jason Johnson, another one.
Mm-hmm. So, Priority Aviation stepping up to help those guys out, and it's going to be cool to see the Raging Cajun out there on the road.
Yeah, it is, and really excited for all forms. I mean, sprint cars. I know we didn't get a lot into the Supercross this week. It continues to be an exciting series out there with some shakeups going on from Oakland. But
we'll have more on that next week.
Yeah, we'll catch up with it. But as racing season really gets kicking off in Florida and Speed Weeks, I mean, you can't not be not excited. I mean, once we get past this small game called the Super Bowl this weekend.
You know, I'm glad that you brought that up. First off, All-Stars will be at the Bubba Raceway Park in Ocala, Florida, the 5th through the 7th. USAC Sprint Cars will be underway very soon, same track. Dirt Car Nationals are just around the corner. And before we get on out of here, who's hosting the Super Bowl party this year?
I've asked. I've already asked a couple times, and I've been shot down on several fronts. So I think that they're possibly tired of the R&R crew showing up with matches and lighter fluid in case something big happens.
Well, you know, the first year we had it over at my place. Wasn't a bad deal. Had a good time.
That was funny.
Except for when a certain somebody ate pretty much all of the tenderloin.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, the owner here has not been. I mean, he's been actually excluded off the Super Bowl party list and the Mud Summer Classic list and any holiday party and any event that includes food, appetizers, anything like that, because he wipes it out. And
he's a little guy.
And then, I mean, we stopped inviting him So he started making up his own parties in his own mind and bringing trays to people's house when they weren't even there to have a party.
And that's what happened last year. So this year it's just like, all right, everybody we're good. We're good on Super Bowl party.
Just make it clear, there is no Super Bowl party.
There is no R&R Super Bowl party this year.
There may be a Daytona 500 party, though.
There may be a 500 party, though, because Neil's getting his house renovated, so we need to go over there and tear it back down.
Oh, boy.
There we go. But anyways, no, Super Bowl coming up.
Yes.
Before we get on out of here, we just got a few minutes left. I need your pick. Is it going to be the Legion of Boom or the Deflated Ball?
I'm a Seahawks fan in this case.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm going with the boys out west.
You going with the Legion of Boom?
Yes.
I'm going with the Deflated Ball. I want to see Tom Brady and Bill Belichick win another Super Bowl because I really do think that window of opportunity is rapidly closing for the two of them.
It's kind of like the ball's deflating.
Kind of like the ball's deflating. They're going down, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the sound effects.
Thank you. Ran out of money this week. Couldn't buy the new one, so had to make up my own. But do you want to put a taco on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Taco. I haven't got the ones you gave me for.
No. I'll tell you what. Instead of a taco, I'm training for a marathon, so I can't have tacos.
Yeah.
Let's do a Jimmy Johan sandwich.
Okay, you're on.
Jimmy Johan's on the Super Bowl. All right, folks, that is our show this week. We'll see who wins the sandwich next week, and we'll recap Supercross, winged and open wheel, sprint car racing, the whole 9 yards. You have been listening to Gas and Glory. Be sure to check out r-rracewear.com for a ton of great apparel and merchandise. On behalf of everyone here at R&R Enterprises, he is Neil Quick and I am Kyle Luders. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Gas and Glory, presented by R&R Enterprises. All rights reserved. Please visit the web's largest sprint car store today at www.r-rracewear.com. The views and opinions expressed in the show are the host and guest alone and do not directly reflect those of R&R Enterprises.